Hey everyone! Today you'll be learning a new AD carry and support strategy that has the potential to win you every single lane. We'll be breaking down exactly how you can execute it yourself for freelo, giving you an extensive tier list of who's best with this strategy, as well as how to counter it at the end of the guide, so make sure you watch until the end. This strategy is the main reason for Sivir's win rate, pick rate, and ban rate to have absolutely skyrocketed. The game plan itself revolves around the mechanic that lets Yuumi attach to the AD carry with her W. This actually allows Yuumi to follow her AD carry when they teleport. We then use this teleport advantage to achieve massive CS leads, tower plating, item advantages, and even kills. In order to showcase the strategy, we'll be using challenger gameplay from the 2019 MSI champion G2 Perks, so let's get into it. Once in lane, he immediately starts autoing the creeps to begin his push while using his W to push even harder. Pushing is a cornerstone to this strategy, but why is it so important? Well, pushing allows you to have lane priority, which means you can leave lane first and help your jungler if they get into a fight in the river. Also, pushing allows you to get tower damage and eventually tower plates. It even forces the enemy to lose CS under their tower. Many of you are probably thinking, well, pushing sounds great, but how can I do this when the enemy could just out-trade me and zone me away from the wave? The trick in the early game is to use your push advantage to secure a minion lead that will make your enemy scared to trade into you. For example, Perks is focusing on getting his minion lead while standing at his max attack range from the enemy's minions. Since he's gotten a small minion advantage and his positioning forces Soraka to move into his creeps to trade, his minions immediately start focusing Soraka, allowing him to win out. At the same time, we can use this early minion lead to secure level 2 and level 3. To illustrate, after securing the early push advantage, the second wave arrives in lane. Now every bot lane player should already know this timing. How many melee minions does Perks have to kill in order to hit level 2? And the answer is 3. So we can see that due to Perks' early pushing strategy, he can secure level 2 before the enemy bot lane. Now as the third wave arrives, take note of how Perks is never moving up to trade with the enemy. He's standing back, forcing the enemy to move into him if they want to trade, while raining down damage on the minions. Again, as we mentioned earlier, this will help him win trades, as the enemy will pull caster minion aggro if they move forward, while Perks will be out of range of the enemy's caster minions. It's important to note how when Perks hit level 2 he actually skilled his E ability over Q. This is going to let him take less damage and regain mana while waiting for his level 3 spike. This is a good choice when facing someone who's trying to land ranged poke on you such as Soraka. After the third wave is cleared, you can see Perks take an even trade. Part of the benefit of this strategy is that by trading health with the enemy, we'll set ourselves up to quickly recall and TP back to lane while they'll be stuck on low health. However, it's also risky, as we don't want to engage in an all-in, as our strategy is one of attrition. Against a more aggressive lane, this would have been a poor choice to trade, but it's fine here since Soraka doesn't have that all-in potential like an Alistar, Nautilus, or Leona. With the fourth wave coming in, there's the all-important level 3 timing at stake. Just like before, Perks will hit level 3 once he's killed the 3 melee minions. This is one of the most important moments in the strategy, so listen carefully. Now having access to her Q and W abilities, Sivir has a ton of pushing power. At any point, Perks can look to push in the wave, recall, and teleport back to lane. However, before doing that, Perks wants to get the enemy a bit lower in health, as we can see Kai'Sa is full HP. One way to accomplish this is to only use high value Qs where you know you'll hit at least one champion along with the minions, as we see Perks do here. You should never try and use it on just minions or just champions. This conservative use of your Q, along with constantly spell shielding the enemy abilities, will keep you from running out of mana for a long time. On top of this, your W will be bouncing across all minions but also hitting the enemy champions. It's using your Q along with your W that will whittle down the enemy's health bars. You can also look for trades off of your pushes. For example, Perks has a big wave advantage here, Yuumi opens up with her Q, which damages and slows, allowing Sivir to walk forward and land some additional damage. Perks then hits level 4. At this point, he wants to recall as he's out of potions and has enough gold to purchase a BF sword. To accomplish this, he'll use a very specific tactic. Since he knows he's going to recall in the next wave, Perks deliberately looks for aggressive trades while shoving out the last wave. By doing this, he's able to get Kai'Sa low, shove the wave into then recalling. Kai'Sa is now stuck in lane playing catch up while on low health. Perks quickly gets his items and teleports back to lane, forcing Kai'Sa to back off completely. Yuumi makes sure to W to Perks and follow the TP. As soon as Perks arrives, he immediately begins hard pushing since the enemy bot lane recalled to match his recall from earlier. This allows him to get a turret plating and deny an entire siege minion wave from the enemy, giving him both a gold and experience lead. This might seem like a fluke, but with this TP strategy you really can do this every lane. All you need to do is have the wave shoved by the time you recall. Now what if the enemy didn't recall? Would that be able to stop Perks from taking a tower plate? If you were in a situation where you TP'd back to lane with a BF sword and your opponent hadn't based yet, they would have no chance of contesting you, allowing you to get even more tower damage and deny even more CS until they shop as well. Effectively, this strategy puts your opponent in a lose-lose situation where they need to either recall now or recall later, with both decisions resulting in denied CS for them and tower plates for you. And just in case the strategy doesn't pan out how you want it, you can always use TP as a get out of jail free card when things don't go your way. And as you can see here, you can even make sneaky TP plays and teleport behind the unsuspecting enemy bot lane as they are pushing and get a free kill. By the way, this Draven is Perks, showing just how popular this strategy is becoming. Level 6 is when this strategy becomes a bit more exciting, and instead of just getting CS and tower plating leads, you get a lot of kill pressure. Here we see Perks and Yuumi get a lot of damage onto Kai'Sa and deny her large amounts of farm, which pressures her to recall before the next wave comes in. Perks shoves in the next wave, and immediately as the creeps take tower aggro, Perks and Yuumi engage onto Soraka and are able to chase her down with ease. This is due to Sivir ult in combination with Yuumi Q, which slows the opponent into her ult snare to get the kill despite Soraka flashing away. By this point in the game, Perks is set up to carry with such a huge lead on the enemy bot lane, and it's all because he was able to stay pushing the whole lane and had constant tower pressure with his ability to TP back to lane. Alright, now let's get into what champions are best at using this strategy. As you can see, Sivir is perfect with her insane ability to wave clear, and with her ult mobility can consistently set up Yuumi with snares from her ult. But this strategy is totally viable on other champions as well. Jinx sits just under Sivir, having great wave clear of her own, and is just a great champion to pick in the current meta. Behind Jinx and Sivir are Kai'Sa, Tristana, and Lucian, who all have good wave clear and very good mobility and strong all-ins that can set up Yuumi for a powerful ult. And behind them are Ashe, Varus, Caitlyn, and Xayah, who all have good wave clear but just lack the same mobility that can set Yuumi up for amazing ults. After that, other champions that might have unique synergies with Yuumi, like Jhin with his W off of Yuumi's Q, or Twitch who can stealth with Yuumi to set up her ult, might be good with Yuumi later in the game, but just do not have the lane presence and wave clear necessary to pull off the strategy. Even some champions like Ezreal or Vayne will almost never be able to pull off the strategy due to their lacking wave clear. Now that we've covered the best way to play this TP strategy, it's time to show you a few of the best ways to counter it. The simplest way for you to counter it would be to take an aggressive all-in lane and try to force all-in fights in the early levels. Draven with Nautilus support or Kalista and Thresh are a couple of really solid examples that can absolutely dominate a Yuumi lane. Along with this aggressive strategy, the best mechanical way to beat Yuumi is to cancel her W when she tries to reattach to her ADC. This is most easily done with abilities like Thresh Flay and Nautilus Hook, but AD carries like Ashe and Varus can attempt to CC chain Yuumi with their ults post 6 as well. Here's a clip of Perks playing an aggressive duo of Xayah and Rakan into Yuumi and cancelling Yuumi's W with Grand Entrance. Doing this puts Yuumi's W on a 10-second cooldown and leaves her totally helpless. Another thing to consider is that Yuumi actually isn't that great at avoiding ganks because she relies on her AD carry's mobility. This means that a well-timed gank could catch a Yuumi duo lane off guard and lead to a guaranteed double kill, because if Yuumi's AD carry dies, then she does as well. Here, Perks is playing Draven and Pyke into a Yuumi lane, and once Lucian is hit with CC to set up the gank, both the Lucian and the Yuumi are guaranteed to die. Note that it becomes a bit more dangerous to gank Yuumi post 6 due to her ult, but still can be an effective strategy to shut her down. And one more thing you could do against this strat is to just do it yourself. If you take TP against this Yuumi strat, you can at least nullify their TP advantage, which as we know is such an important part of the plan. Now let's do a quick recap before we close out the video. We went over how exactly this TP with Yuumi strategy worked in the first place. With Yuumi being able to TP along with the AD carry, it allows you to both get a free reset for lane. Instead of just getting a free reset, this strategy takes it a bit further. First, you want to be able to shove the wave into the enemy tower. We accomplish this by picking high wave clear champions like Sivir for this game plan. Then you want to safely and slowly whittle down the opposing bot lane until you reach a significant purchase timing. Think BF Sword or Pickaxe. And once you are ready to recall, make sure you shove in one last wave, then TP back to lane and start your lead. In our replay, we saw Perks do exactly this game plan once he TP'd back to lane. He was able to shove the wave into the enemy tower and deny an entire cannon wave and get a tower plate, all because he took TP and followed the plan. We saw this initial lead snowball for Perks, and it led to more kills in lane, a CS advantage, tower plates, and even an aggressive chase down kill onto the Soraka thanks to the Yuumi and Sivir ult combo. Then we went over the AD carry tier list for the best and the worst champs to pick to pull off the strategy, with Sivir and Jinx being among the best and Ezreal and Vayne being two of the worst. Don't forget that this particular strategy heavily prioritizes wave clear champions, so just because Ezreal and Vayne fit poorly, don't think that they are bad champions or have bad synergy with Yuumi. The tier list just is there to show you the best picks for the early game strategy. And finally, since we went extensively over how to perfectly play the strategy, we showed some good examples of how to best counter it and how to counter Yuumi in lane. Alright, what do you think of this strategy? Let us know in the comment section below, as well as any questions you might have. Join us again next week to keep up to date with these cutting edge bot lane strategies. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.